Good morning. Craig Howard, happy to be with you again this morning. Um, I read a story that I think I've read before, and I may have told on here before. I've been doing this for a little over 2 years now, so I've kind of lost track of what stories I've told and what I haven't told. But I just read this morning, and I've read something like it before. If I've never read it, if I've never used it on here before, I've read some story like this before. And now that I'm rambling enough, I'll go, I'll go on. um, it was about a medical doctor, a British medical doctor, who had this patient. She was an 82-year-old patient named Doris. And it was time to discharge her. She was fine. But every time he would go in her room, she would complain of something new. Her arm hurt, her hip hurt, something. And he would take x rays, he would do something. And he couldn't find anything. And he finally walked in her room and he said, Doris, I don't see any reason to keep you in the hospital. I think we have to move ahead with our plan to discharge. And she put her head down and she said, I don't want to go home. And he said, why? And she said, at home, I'm all alone. She said, it's Christmas time. And she said, I'm going to be alone. And then she looked at him and she said, do you have a cure for loneliness? And he didn't know what to say. He finally capitulated and said, Doris, I think maybe I need to run a few more tests. And he decided to keep her there over Christmas. But it makes me think, every year, I just spent time in a nursing home up in Pennsylvania. Just to get in, I had to be masked, shielded, gloved, and gowned to get in to spend time with Uncle Richard. And there are going to be people all over the country today in nursing homes and even worse at home that are going to spend Christmas absolutely alone. Nobody is going to call them. Nobody is going to come by. Nobody is going to even think about them. I have some widow ladies in my church that, while some of them have family that will be with them, there's a couple that I wonder about and that I worry about and wonder if they're going to have any kind of Christmas with anybody. I'm going to see to it that somehow they're contacted Christmas Day. But my point is this: it's not just Christmas. There are 364 other days of the year where people find themselves all alone and they've kind of been forgotten by the world. Whenever we do camp, for those of you that are watching on the Camp Galilee site, whenever we do camp, we take you to nursing homes and we take you out to various situations where you can interact with people that otherwise would be very alone. And it means so much to them. We had this. We used to have a guy that we would take from the Hopemont Mental Hospital, and we'd bring him back to camp, and he would literally talk about that all year long and would look forward to it from one year to the next. His name was John. He was in a wheelchair, and when we finally got to a situation where he was no longer able to make that trip, we were going to come and see him anyhow and spend some time with him. And the nurses asked us not to because he would be so upset that he couldn't go with us to leave the camp and spend time or leave the hospital and spend time at the camp. The Bible tells us this. Over in Galatians chapter 5, verse 14. It says, for all the law, in other words, all of Scripture, everything in Scripture can be boiled down to this. He said, for all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Said all the message of the Bible, all the message of Christmas, all the message of everything Jesus came to try to do Jesus himself boiled down into 2 commandments. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and spirit, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. If we're literally doing that like we're supposed to, there should be nobody feeling alone this Christmas. So look around at the people that are around your life that may be being left alone, and ask yourself, what can I do to give them a cure for loneliness? But for the grace of God, it could be you. Think about that. Well, got a lot to do today. You'd probably do too. And the sun just came up over that mountain and it's hitting me right smack in the eyes. So I can barely even see the camera, let alone how long I've been. But listen, I hope you have a great day today. And I hope you have an opportunity to touch somebody's life. I woke up this morning thinking of a couple people that I need to get in contact with, a couple people that are going through some struggles all alone, and I need to contact them today and see if I can't help them out and make a difference in their life. So you have a great day. Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.